Hey, what is going on, guys? Merry Christmas. Happy to be here for this five-game NBA slate. Super excited about this one. Christmas and NBA is always the best time of year. So we'll do this same strategy or same, breakdown as always. We'll go over what we know so far, the spreads, over/under, and then we can get to question or prices and then questions at the end. So kind of like I expected here, we got the two Lakers guys are expected to play with both LeBron and AD. Looks like Patrick Beverley is also good to go, as well as Kuzma. Haven't heard of anything of a minutes limit for Kuzma. And then Kai Bowman, this is somewhat significant, I guess. He's back in the G League, so he's not available. So with Glenn Robinson back, that obviously takes a slight hit to Burks and Lee. I still like those guys as mid-tier options. And with Bowman now back in the G League, I think it almost evens out, right? I think Glenn Robinson maybe gets closer to 30, while Bowman got 23 last game. So those 7 minutes probably get taken away from Burks and Lee, but still like those guys as mid-tier options. Raptors, same starting lineup here with Lowry, Fred VanVleet, McCaw, Anunoby, and Ibaka. Gordon Hayward will play. I haven't heard of anything of a minutes limit, so I assume he's going to be full go. And then that's what we got. So let's look at the over-unders and spreads. So we'll start the first game here. Boston and Toronto sitting at 214.5. Boston favored by 4.5 points. Bucks 76ers 221. The Bucks are by 4. Rockets Warriors 227.5. The Rockets favored by 11 points. So there is some blowout risk there. Clippers Lakers 222.5. This one should be probably the best game to watch in my opinion. Lakers favored by 2, and then Pelicans Nuggets 218. Nuggets favored by 9. So really the two games that have some blowout risk, at least on paper, are the Pelicans Nuggets and Rockets Warriors game. But let's go team by team. We got about 30 minutes until lock, so I can break this down real quick, and then I can get to questions. So let's start with the first game, Boston and Toronto. Boston's a team I'm not super excited about with Gordon Hayward now back. Kemba, Tatum, Brown, Hayward all seem priced about right. Cantor's price is up too. Like, he's someone I always like taking shots on, but his price is all the way up to 5.2K. Like, can he still get you there in 20 to 25 minutes? He can. Like, he's super productive, but he's not that smash value play like he was, a few weeks ago when he's getting that time. Tice at under 4K. His minutes are slowly going down. They're slowly going up for Cantor. I don't think we have to do it. I think I like better value plays in other games. Wanamaker, again, with Hayward back, not for me. So this Boston team is probably the team I'm the least excited about on this slate. Like I said, if you land on one of those four guys with Kemba, Tatum, Brown, Hayward, I don't mind it. I'm just not going to go out of my way to play them. I just like guys similarly priced in other spots. So all in all, Boston, not a team I'm super excited about. If we move on to Toronto, I do have a little bit more interest here because they're pretty shorthanded, right? No Siakam, no Powell, no Gasol still. Starting lineup of Lowry, Ibaka, Fred VanVleet, OG, and Pat McCaw. So we'll start with Pat McCaw. I don't have a whole lot of interest here at this price. He's super, super low usage, not getting enough minutes. Don't think we have to do that. OG at 5.4K, another one of those. If you land on him, it's fine. I don't think he's the best play, though, at this price. I would like it if he's a little bit cheaper. These big three guys up top, I have some interest in with Lowry, Ibaka, and Fred VanVleet. All three have flash upside. I mean, this is where the offense is going to be coming from. We know these guys are going to play the big minutes, too, right? So these three guys I have more interest in. Probably my favorite, I guess, would be Fred VanVleet just for his price, right? At 7K, he's the cheapest of the three. If you get to Ibaka, if you get to Lowry, I don't mind it. Again, I do have interest in those guys. And then as far as the cheap guys go, Boucher is only like a dart throw for me right now. I mean, I'm a huge Chris Boucher guy. He's won me a lot of money in like the preseason, even a couple games during the regular season. But I just don't think we can expect enough minutes for him to be viable, especially at this price of 4.8K. Now, again, that game against Dallas, they extended it with the bench unit. So I wouldn't expect him to play 24 minutes again. So that's the reason, like, I can't do it. It's only a dart throw. Like, you got to get lucky and hope, like, Ibaka gets in foul trouble or rolls an ankle or something. So, that's only a dart throw. RHJ I have a little bit more interest in. His minutes have been going up, right? 29 and then 38. So I thought that game against Dallas was an anomaly, but I guess not. Against the Pacers, again, he got 38 minutes. So the minutes have kind of been all over the place for him. But, if he gets over 30 minutes, I think he stands out as a solid option here at this price. He's a guy that doesn't really need to score to get you there. He'll get you the peripheral stats, the block or the blocks, steals, rebounds, assists, right? And if he's knocking down some shots, he can have a pretty good day. So I do have some interest there in RHJ in the mid tier. The really cheap guys definitely don't have to do that in this slate, and that's what I got for Toronto. So the big three here right now with Lowry, Ibaka, and Fred VanVleet, I have some interest in. Don't mind RHJ either. Again, the minutes have kind of been all over the place for him. And then that's really what I got for Toronto. So let's move on to Milwaukee and Philly. So Milwaukee, if you're going with the more stars and scrubs approach, I think Giannis is probably the safest spend up. Just because, again, I talk about this a lot with Giannis. Whenever you can project him to play 4 quarters, you have to have interest in him. The issue with him always is the Bucks is always blowout team, so he never really gets full run. But when you can project him to get full 4 quarters, especially in a tougher matchup against Philly, I think the minutes maybe go up a little bit. Maybe he gets like 35 or so. Either way, I think he's probably the safest spend up of the day. I think if you're playing cash games, you probably start it with Giannis at that price point. So do really like him as a spend up. As far as the secondary pieces here, Middleton in the mid range, one of those guys where I'm not going to go out of my way to play him. I don't know if he has a huge upside. Like he does every once in a while, but for me, making one lineup, I don't think I'm going to get to Chris Middleton there at that price. I'm fine if you get there. I think he's a fine cash game option. I just don't see the huge upside. I would just prefer spending up on Giannis personally. And then the other options, DiVincenzo's price is up. Probably not for me. Brook Lopez, I don't mind. They're going to need him out there to guard Embiid. I don't think Robin Lopez is going to play a huge amount of minutes. He has been pretty solid the last 3 games with 30 fantasy points in 3 straight. Another one of those guys where if you land on him, it's fine. I don't think, personally, though, I'm going to be playing Brook Lopez. Now, George Hill is probably my second favorite Milwaukee Buck here at 4.3K. I think he probably gets over 20 in this one, probably 20 to 25, and he has flash upside with no Bledsoe. So I do have some interest in George Hill as a value play. He is a guy that, if he gets extended even more, he could have a really good day. So I don't mind him there as a value play. Wes Matthews, I will not be chasing that game. I talked about it in my video. Just too scoring dependent for me. He's had 2 really good shooting nights. He's normally a really, really low usage guy. So I will pass there on Wes Matthews. Elias Silva's a guy you can use as like a dart throw option at this price. He's not going to play the huge minutes, but he is a guy that can get you in like 15 to 20 minutes. He can get you like 25 fantasy points, and he's close to min price. So that's one where I wouldn't mind taking a shot. Again, if I'm making one lineup, I don't know if I get there, but I have some interest there in Ersan as more of a dart throw option, and that is what I got from Milwaukee. So really, my preferred play there is Giannis at the top. I think he's going to be really popular. Again, if you're playing cash games, you probably start with your lineup with Giannis. Honestly, if you're playing GPPs, you can fade him, right? There's a lot of different options you can go to, but that's my thoughts with Milwaukee. On the Philadelphia side, anytime you can get Embiid under 10K, you got to like that. He is at a pretty juicy price tag here, right? 9.8. The matchup is pretty good as well. Like Brook Lopez, Robin Lopez. He should have a really good day here. So I do like Embiid a lot. It's just, am I going to get to him with other guys in the slate? It's tricky, right? Like I do like Embiid a good amount. He's definitely up there with like the spend ups, the top spend ups. So I do have some interest there in Embiid at that price. He's had good games against Milwaukee too in the past, like really good games. So I think he stands out as a really good play there under 10K. The other 4 starters with Ben Simmons, Tobias, Richardson, and Al Horford, I think are all contrarian plays, except Tobias. I think Tobias will be somewhat popular at this price. He has flash upside. He's been a bit up and down, right? But he is a guy that if he's shooting well, can get you like over 50 fantasy points. So I think Tobias would probably be my second favorite Philadelphia play. And then Ben Simmons, Josh Richardson, and Horford all stand out as just contrarian options. I don't see myself getting to them on just for one lineup. I just don't see it. So, that is what I got. The cheaper guys, really don't think we have to do that with like Trey Burke's not getting enough run. Korkmaz is, I guess if he's shooting really well, it can get you there in 20 minutes, but I'm not going to be chasing that game. So that's really what I got for Philly. It's probably Embiid being my favorite play at the top. Don't mind Tobias at his price. And then the other 3 starters are more contrarian options in my opinion. Next, we get to Houston Golden State. So if you're playing GPPs, I think on a slate like this, you have to take a stand, right? And this is where I'm personally taking my stand. Now, you guys definitely don't have to do this. This is risky, but I'm taking the stand that Golden State keeps us close. I like a lot of the guys in the Golden State side. I'm going to run it back with, one of those Houston guys. So that's where I'm taking my stand. This is for GPPs, right? This is definitely risky again because this game can blow out. But we'll start with the Houston side. Harden, Westbrook, Capella. I have interest in all three a good amount. It's a spot where Golden State plays, very, very little defense. And if this game does stay close, which I'm hoping for, I think a couple of these guys could have really big games. Again, Harden, if you want the pivot off of Giannis, don't mind him at all. I think the upside is pretty big on Harden. He can get you 70 to 80 fantasy points any single night. And this is, again, one of the best spots. So Harden, I think is a really good spend up as well. Cash games, I might lean towards Giannis, but it's close. It's really close to those two. And then Westbrook, I have a good amount of interest in as well. He's priced under 9K. Again, Golden State, they play very little defense. So I have a lot of interest in Westbrook. He's been playing really well of late, too. The minutes have been going up, too. Like, he's playing about 40 minutes. So I like Westbrook a good amount. He's got to fill up the stat sheet, obviously. We know he has the upside. So I like both those guys a good amount. If you really want to get risky and just do like a full game stack, I think you could play Harden and Westbrook together. But that's probably not, your ideal cash game build. And then Capella, I also have interest in. 7.5K. We know he's gonna get about 40 minutes. Golden State, again, we want to target bigs against them. So I do have some interest in Capella at this price. He can get you like 50 fantasy points on a good night. So those big three, I do have some interest in. And then some of the cheaper guys I actually don't mind either. So I do like a lot of the Houston guys here. PJ Tucker at 4.4K, not a super high usage guy, but in a close game, he probably gets closer to 40 minutes. And if he knocks down a couple of corner threes, we know it can get us there. So yes, I do have some interest in PJ Tucker at that price. I also like Daniel House a decent amount as a value play. There's not a whole lot of great value plays in the slate, but House is a guy that I think gets about 30 or so minutes. We know like if he's playing decently well, he can get us like 25 or so fantasy points, and he's priced at 3.6K. So I think he stands out as a decent fantasy or a decent value play. And if you're going more stars than scrubs, he allows you to get those stars in your lineup. So House is a guy I have some interest there at his price. Macklemore 3.7. I think I would prefer House just because House is playing a little bit more minutes as of right now. Rivers, definitely don't think we have to go there. His minutes are way down. So all in all, that's what I got for Houston. It's the big three I like with Harden, Westbrook, and Capella. I think PJ Tucker's a solid value play, and I think Daniel House is a solid value play. And then the Golden State side. So again, guys, I said I'm taking a stand here for GPPs. I'm only playing GPPs in the slate, so I'm going a bit riskier of a build. I really like the Golden State guys still. Even with Glenn Robinson back, he is probable. He was playing, he probably gets about closer to 30 minutes, right around there. I think he's an actually okay value option, but the two guys I have a lot of interest in still are Damian Lee and Alec Burks. Burks is now probably going to come off the bench. I don't think he's going to get the 34 minutes. I think he gets closer to like about 30. But this is a guy that, is being really aggressive offensively. 16 shots, 20 shots, 13. He's a guy that's, getting more peripheral stats as well. And this is a really up-tempo game. So I still have interest in Alec Burks. He's probably going to come off the bench, but I still like him at this price point. I think he'll be somewhat popular because he's had two really good games, but I still have interest in him. And I still have interest in Damian Lee. Again, I think maybe the minutes go down a little bit for him now. This game against Minnesota, wouldn't be too worried about that. He got 5 fouls. He probably got 6 or 7 minutes taken away from him because of foul trouble. But with Glenn Robinson back, maybe those minutes go down a little bit. Either way, I still have some interest in him. I think the upside is a little bit higher on Burks. So if I'm going to choose between Burks and Lee, I'm definitely going to lean towards Burks just because, again, he has flashed the higher upside of recently. And then Glenn Robinson himself at that price, again, I don't mind it. Not a guy that has huge upside, but a 4.4K, I think it's perfectly fine as a value play. And then we'll talk about the two guys at the top here with D'Angelo Russell and Draymond Green. I like D'Angelo Russell a lot here at this price. Again, I'm taking the stand that Golden State keeps us close. There's obviously some blowout risk, right? It's 11-point spread, so this game can definitely blow out. If this game blows out, I'm just going to take the L on the slate. Again, I'm taking the stand here, hoping it stays close. I think D'Angelo Russell in a close game gets about 33 minutes like we've seen really the last 3 games, and he is their go-to guy. Again, up-tempo game, so I like D'Angelo Russell a good amount at his price. Don't mind Draymond at 6.1K. He's a guy that fills up the stat sheet. His minutes have been creeping up too, right? He got 33 that last game, so I think he stands out as an okay option for sure. And then finally to Willie Cauley-Stein, one of my favorite value plays actually, at 4.2K. His minutes, 30, 23, 28, and 30 in the last 4 games. He's gotten 33, 23, 25, and 32 fantasy points. Again, an up-tempo game. So if we can project Willie Cauley-Stein to get like closer to 30 minutes like we've seen recently, I think he's a really good value play at this price. Yeah, like I said, I think he as of right now, he's probably my favorite value play. Now, again, crazy stuff can happen, right? He can get in foul trouble, or I don't know, they could, maybe give those minutes to Chris. But just what we've seen in the last 4 games, I think Willie Cauley-Stein stands out as a really good value play at that price. The other really cheap options, Pascal's minutes have been down. I don't think I can go there right now. I mean, I like his price, but his minutes are way down. Chris, maybe if you think Willie Cauley-Stein gets in foul trouble, you can take a shot there because he is a guy that can get you there in limited time. Again, if like Willie Cauley-Stein rolls an ankle, something like that, Chris, maybe if he gets like 20 minutes, he could crush that salary. But that's only a dart throw play. Again, Bowman, don't go there. He's in the G League, so do not play Kai Bowman. And then that's it for Golden State. So honestly, a good amount I like here. Willie Cauley-Stein probably being my favorite value play at that price. I like Lee. I like Burks. I'm going to give the edge to Burks over Lee because his upside has been higher. And then I like D'Angelo Russell a good amount. Don't mind Draymond Green. Glenn Robinson's fine as value play. So that's it for Golden State and Houston. Let's move on to the Clippers and the Lakers. We're kind of running a little bit short on time, so I'm going to go a little bit faster. This is a game that should be really fun to watch. I have interest in more on the Clippers side, just because everyone's underpriced in my opinion, with Kawhi, Paul George, Lou Williams, and Montrez. Especially Lou and Montrez. Lou under 6K, revenge game narrative. I think he's a guy that gets about 30 or so minutes. Pat Beverly is back, so I don't think Lou Williams is going to start again, but I still think he can come off the bench and get close to 30 minutes. I like Montrez a good amount too. In that first game against the Lakers, he played like 38 minutes. Now, I don't think we can expect that again, but I definitely think over 30 for Montrez at 5.5K. I know it's a tougher spot, but I just think that price stands out as a really good, really good option there in the mid tier. Pat Beverly himself, don't mind it, but personally, I like the upside a little bit more on Montrez and Lou, who just have better offensive game, and they're very similar price. So I would prefer going a little bit more for Montrez or paying a little bit more for Lou. The two guys at the top two, Paul George and Kawhi. Paul George's price has come down $1,600, right? He was 9.5K just a few days ago. Now he's priced at 7.9, and the recency bias might lower his ownership. He's had 2 not-so-good games, but we know Paul George, he's gotten like 60 fantasy points in, 3 of the last 7 games? So the upside is pretty high, and he's priced under 8K. So you got to have interest in Paul George. I think he stands out as a really solid option there under 8K. Same thing with Kawhi. He's priced under 9K. I like a lot of the Clippers here. I know it's a tough spot, but all of the guys are underpriced in my opinion. And then the value guys, probably the only guy I would take, or I guess there's 2 guys I would take shots on. One being Zubac. It's a revenge game. He got very limited, I think 10 minutes that first game against the Lakers, but maybe he gets a little bit more run. Like if he gets like 15, maybe 20 minutes, he is a guy that can get us 25 fantasy points. So I think he's worth a shot for GPPs. And I don't mind Michael Green either. Played 18 minutes in that first game back, got 21 fantasy points. Again, the Lakers run big, so maybe he gets like 20 to 25, and he's close to mid in price. I think we probably get that right somewhere between 20 to 25 minutes. And at 3.4K, he's a guy that, in my opinion, can probably get us anywhere between 15 and 25 fantasy points. So I think he stands out as a pretty solid value option. The other guys, like Harkless, would not go there. So that's what I got for the Clippers. As far as the Lakers side, the 2 guys at the top, AD and LeBron, are a little bit underpriced as well. LeBron at 9.9K stands out as a really solid option. AD as well. The concern with AD is he's injury prone, but the upside is still there. Now, with both those guys being active, that definitely, limits their upside a little bit, right? If one of them were out, obviously, the other one would have had huge upside. So AD and LeBron are perfectly fine spend-up options. Again, I don't know if I would go out of my way to play them for cash games. I think it's probably Giannis would be my preferred spend-up. But AD and LeBron, no issue if you want to go there. Rondo's a guy we can look to for GPPs. I think he gets about 25 or so minutes. He's a guy that, in primetime games usually seems to have a really good game. So I don't mind taking a shot there, 4.7K. Dwight and McGee with AD, most likely back. Don't know if I could do that. I guess if I was going to take a shot on one of those guys, it would be McGee because he can get us there in like 15 or so minutes. The wings guys, KCP, Green, Bradley, not really for me with, both LeBron and AD healthy. So that's what I got for the Lakers. Last game of the night here at Pelicans and Denver. So this is another game where I think this game probably goes the lowest owned of the 5 games today, just because there is some blowout risk. But I still like some guys in this game. On the Pelican side, it's Ingram, Drew, and Favors are the guys that I have probably the most interest in. Ingram and Drew are a bit underpriced in my opinion. We know in a close game they'll get 35 to 40 minutes, and Favors' minutes went up. He played about 30 minutes. Denver runs big. Now, I know it's not really the best spot, but if he gets like 30 minutes again, at this price, I still have interest in Derek Favors. The secondary pieces, Hart, Lonzo, JJ Redick, not a whole lot of interest in. Like, you can take a shot on Lonzo, but his minutes have been down. Like, if he's playing well, maybe they extend him. Like, if I knew Lonzo was going to get like 30 minutes, I would really like him at this price. But just going off what we know the last 3 games, 21, 22, and 18 minutes. So, yeah, he's worth a shot for GPPs. Maybe he gets extended minutes-wise. JJ Redick, another guy that you can take a shot on. Like, I think he probably gets closer to 30 minutes if he's knocking down his threes. He can get, like, on a good day, he can get, like, 30 fantasy points. So another one of those guys I don't mind taking a shot on. Hayes with Favors minutes going up. I don't think we have to do that. But that's what I got here for the Pelicans. So Ingram, Drew, Favors, the big three I probably have the most interest in. I don't mind if you want to take a shot on Lonzo and JJ. And then last team here, Denver. So I have some interest in Denver as well. And if you're a guy that's going to, play a couple of the Denver guys, then I think it's probably smart to run it back with one of the Pelicans, right? Because if a couple of Denver guys, if you're loading up in the Denver guys, you're banking on the game staying close. And if the game stays close, I think, Drew, Ingram, or Favors, one, maybe even 2 of those guys have a pretty good game. So just, game theory there. But Denver, I like Jokic at 9.4K. I think he goes a bit lower owned. I think some people are going to be concerned about the blowout. If this game stays close, I think he gets over 30 minutes. He's triple-double upside. He's playing really well. One of the best possible spots, too. So I like Jokic a good amount at that price at 9.4K. And then Jamal Murray, Will Barton, I have interest in as well. Again, Jamal Murray has had 40 points in 3 of the last 4 games. Will Barton is a guy that fills up the stat sheet. He's playing big minutes as well. So those 3 guys I have a good amount of interest in. Gary Harris, probably not for me. Millsap, I think, stands out as a safer option at this price. He's not going to play the huge minutes. He doesn't have huge upside, in my opinion. But if he gets 25 to 30 minutes, I think he's the guy that can get us like 20 to 30, maybe a little bit higher fantasy point-wise. So don't mind Paul Millsap. There's more of a cash game play. Plumlee at his price, okay. I'm not going to go out of my way to play him. Jeremy Grant, I would just prefer paying a little bit more for Millsap. Monte Morris at 3.3K. Not playing enough minutes too, so that's. I guess if you're playing the blowout factor, you can take shots more than these bench guys. So that is something I guess I will bring up. Like if you think Denver blows out the Pelicans, which is certainly possible, maybe you can take a shot on a guy like Monte Morris, who when he gets minutes, he's normally pretty productive, or like a guy like Malik Beasley, right? So if you're a guy that thinks it does blow out, you can take shots on those guys. But that's really what I got. So let's get to some questions here. We got about 10 minutes till lock. Okay. Let's see. RHJ, Brad Wanamaker, or Enes Kanter, Chance Davis, Jason Tatum, or Fred VanVleet. So, I mean, I definitely wouldn't play Terrence Davis. I guess RHJ and Brad Wanamaker. I'm not super excited about Wanamaker. As far as Jason Tatum or Fred VanVleet, I would personally lean towards Fred VanVleet. I just like him a bit more with his with his upside. Fred should have more fantasy points, I think. Yep. About to lock fellas, get them lineups tight. Yep. Morris or Austin Rivers for cash. So Monte Morris, right? I guess Monte Morris, but those are guys that I don't really think are cash game options. Here it is, Holiday, Millionaire lineup. D'Angelo Russell, Lou Williams, House, PJ Tucker, Willie Cauley-Stein, Westbrook, Harrell, and LeBron James. Yeah, I like that a lot to know. Pretty similar to mine as well, as usual, right? You always seem to come up with a pretty similar line. Thoughts on James Ennis? He's min price, I believe, right? I mean, he's minimum price. So you can realistically take a shot, right? Like, if he gets over 20 minutes, he can probably get you 15 or so fancy points. I don't mind it. I'm not going to do it myself, but I get it, right? Because he's the minimum price. Lou or Burks, that's tough because, man, that's really tough. Let's see. I guess I would go Burks, but I like both those guys a lot at their prices. I had to play the Holiday Big GBP. Yeah, the Millionaire, I played that as well. Rivers and Morris, yeah, I would go Morris there. Fading the first 2 games and the last, hoping the Golden State game stays close. Kind of the same thing with me. Yeah, I only have. Well, I do. I'm playing Giannis, and then those guys in the Golden State, Houston game, as well as some of those Clippers guys. Tatum got a haircut. He's going off. He said he's top 5 when he gets a clean fade. Haircut narrative, I guess. Um, let's see. We're not really waiting on any news. It's a interesting slate because all the games are so spread out, right? Yeah. I'm all in on Golden State and Houston game stack. Can't fit all the players so hard versus Westbrook. I will go Westbrook for his price because he's 8.9K versus Harden 11.6. So I will go Harden, or I will go Westbrook, I should say, for his price. I'm terrified of fading Giannis, to be honest. I laughed my ass off. Yeah. I switched my lap around a little bit. I got Giannis in right now. We'll see. Again, I think he probably, if you're playing cash games, you probably play Giannis. Lee or Rondo. That's tough. I think Lee is more the cash game option because he's going to play more minutes. But Rondo is a guy, again, prime time Rondo, whatever. He is a guy that normally steps up in those big games, and I think Rondo probably gets about 25 minutes. So, yeah, I definitely think it's Lee for cash and Rondo for GPPs. So now he's dropped 80 or more last. Yeah, that is true. Giannis has been really good against Philly, 80 or more in three games. Jake Anderson, Merry Christmas, man. Thanks for stream, killing it as always. Really appreciate the super chat, Jake. Thanks for always being in the stream and the really nice comments. So really do appreciate that, man. Thank you. Hope you have a good Christmas. Embiid too. That's right. Like Embiid and Giannis have been really good against each other. So just take that, what you want. Like Embiid is under 10K. Giannis is at a pretty similar or at a pretty juicy price as well. Russell, Damian Lee, LeBron, House, Embiid, Lou Will, Kuzma, Cauley Stein for GPPs. Yep, I like that a good amount. I got Westbrook, Russell, Kawhi, Harrell, Cauley Stein, Lou Williams, Kuzma, House, Burks. I like that a lot as well. That's pretty similar to mine. So, yeah, I think that's really solid. It's scary, but LeBron on Christmas could drop 82. That's definitely possible. Cash or GP cash. Westbrook, Russell, Matthews, Tatum, Will Cauley Stein, Burks, JaMychal Green, Kawhi for the $25. That's fine, right? Wes Matthews is not a guy I'm super excited about, but if he stays hot in those threes, he can get you there. So Tatum, too, is okay. I'm not super excited about those Boston guys, but I think they go lower owned, so that's perfectly fine for GPPs. So I just looked up, and I have actually $300 left to upgrade to AD or keep LeBron. That's a tough one between AD and LeBron. I think LeBron is probably the safer option, whereas maybe AD has a little bit more upside. I always, when it's close, I usually lean towards Anthony Davis. And, yeah, I mean, go with your gut there. I personally would probably do Anthony Davis, but it's close. It's featuring LeBron and Kawhi in the same lineup, a good idea. Yeah, that is perfectly fine. LeBron's under 10K, Kawhi's under 9K. Both those guys are cheap. Now it's not really the best matchup for either, but they're both really cheap. I think they play probably about 35 or so minutes, so no issue with that. Should I play George Hill or Wes Matthews for my GPP line? No, I am definitely going to go George Hill there. I just like his upside a bit more than Wesley Matthews, so yeah, George, they're similarly priced, right? George Hill is 4.3 versus Wes Matthews at 4K. I just think George Hill, right, he's a guy that will get you rebounds, assists, and if he's knocking down those threes, he can have a big upside game like he did against the Pacers where he had 37. So I would definitely go, personally, George Hill over Wes Matthews. Lou Will, Russell, Giannis, Harrell, Willie Cauley-Stein, Rondo, House, Capella. I like that a good amount as well. Yeah. Jamal Murray, Macklemore, Greek, House, Embiid, Burks, Millsap, Willie Cauley-Stein. No issue with that either. Yep, I think that's perfectly fine. McLemore, I personally would probably go house over McLemore, but McLemore will be a lot lower owned, so don't mind that. Again, he'll be a lot lower owned than House in my opinion. Let's see. You think Horford has decent upside guarding Giannis? I don't know if he has huge upside. I honestly don't. I think, when everyone's healthy on that Philly side, his upside kind of gets capped. So I don't think he has huge upside. I think he's more of a cash game play. So I don't know. I don't think I would go Horford for GPPs. I'm taking a stand and saying Ingram is going off tonight in what is probably the biggest career of his game. Hey, like I said, you got to take stands somewhere. Like I said what I'm doing. I'm taking a stand that Golden State and Houston stay close. I'm playing a lot of the guys in that game. If it blows out, I'm going to lose. That's something I'm willing to take a shot on. Also, that the Pelicans Denver game again. I think that game goes the lowest owned tonight. So if you guys taking ownership in consideration, that game's going to go pretty low owned. And I like a lot of those Denver guys, Jokic, Jamal Murray, Will Barton, even Millsap. On the Pelican side, Drew and Ingram under price. I like Favors a good amount of this price. So that game is going to go super low owned. But I think it still has upside too. And if I was probably making a second lineup, again, right now I'm playing a lot of the guys in the Golden State Houston game. But if I was making a second lineup, I probably would stack Denver and New Orleans just because it's going to be super, super low owned. And if that game goes off, I'm in great shape. Taking a risk on Lonzo Ball, he's been bad, but hoping he shows off to Christmas. So Lonzo actually has not been bad. His minutes have just been down, really. He's been pretty solid. 21, 22, 18 minutes. 25, 32, 25 minutes. So I don't know. I don't mind that at all. You just gotta hope he gets extended a bit for minutes. On the last day of Christmas, Grinch gave me AD into the locker room. Yeah, I mean that's always a possibility with Anthony Davis, right? I tried to get Giannis in my lineup just now, but can't find anything I like confidently. Oh well. Yeah, I mean like I said, just go with your gut. Stick with what you have. I think that was perfectly fine with your lineup there. Let's see. Oh, also, I'm going to be giving away the $25 PayPal on Twitter, guys. If you didn't enter that, I made a tweet on Christmas Eve. All you have to do is retweet it and follow me. I'll give that away probably on live stream here, I guess. Fred VanVleet, Russell, Jaylen Brown, Leonard, Will Cauley-Stein, Burks, Tobias, House. Fading the big stars, don't feel great about it. I mean, that's fine. Like, you're going more mid-tier. I think that's a little bit more contrarian, but I think all those guys are perfectly fine. The Boston guys I'm not super excited about, but Jaylen Brown is, I think he's 6.8K, so he still can get you there. Everyone else is no issue there at all. So, I think that's more of a contrarian approach. Again, I think a lot of people are just going to want to get those stars in their lineup. So the mid-tier approach is a little bit more contrarian in my opinion. Let me go to, let's see. But we are at lock, so I can go over some ownership here. I played AD over LeBron. I need AD's upside if I'm fading Giannis. LOL. Good call. Like I said, it's close. I always give the slight edge to AD over LeBron, but we will see. Thanks as always, DK. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, all. Yeah, I hope you guys all have a great Christmas. Happy Holidays, right? This will be a fun day to watch some basketball for sure. So no, LeBron's upside is insane at Christmas, man. it's a close call with LeBron AD, right? I can't feel super confident going one way or the other. But let's see if we can find some ownership here. I guess I'll go in the big one, right? The $25 millionaire. I saw Grant Williams is 1% owned. Let's see. Fred VanVleet, 19%. Jaylen Brown, 12%. Chris Boucher, 2%. Cantor, 4%. I feel like a lot of these guys are going to go pretty low owned. I definitely like the Toronto side more than the Boston side today. Let's see. So Lowry, 9%. Fred VanVleet, 19%. Again, Fred VanVleet was probably my favorite play there in that game. Ibaka, 11%. What is your opinion on Kuzma? I think Kuzma's in play as a value guy. We haven't heard of anything of a minutes limit. If he's off his minutes limit, I think he probably gets closer to 25 minutes. He's priced under 4K. I think he's perfectly fine as a value option. Good luck, everyone, and thanks, DK. Of course, man. Happy to do these live streams. I love them. But let's see if we can. Hold on. I got to find this website where it does the random retweet picker. I think this one's it, maybe. Let's see. Where was that website that I used before? Was it this? Or this? Or was it to sign in with Twitter with these? There's one I didn't have to sign in with Twitter. Tatum 9%, yes please. Yeah, I mean that's low ownership. Came off McLemore for Danny Green. Seems pretty equal. Just feel like Danny Green might chuck up more shots if he gets hot. Yeah, I mean, they're pretty similar guys, right? They're both guys that, are kind of going to get you there by knocking down threes. So, yeah, and both those guys are very, very similar. Don't mind at all. I think I'm going to hop off here, guys. I got to do a little bit of research, try to find that retweet picker website where I used earlier. But I will be giving away that $25 really soon, probably the next 5 minutes. I just got to find that website that I used before. But I appreciate everyone coming to check out the live stream here for Christmas. I hope you guys all have a great Christmas, spend time with your families, and watch some NBA most importantly. But thanks again, guys, and I will see you